Big hurricane coming. What are you going to say to the hurricane?
Fuck you. You want me? Come and get me.
Yeah.
Anybody. Wind, devils, cops, anybody. Bring it on. I'm ready for you all.
Let's go. He's not leaving, baby. Don't give up the ship. We're here with the real life.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just nip it in the bud. I'm gonna make a. This is the Lieutenant Dan deep dive. Welcome.
Oh, what's up, guys? We're at Skydive City today in Zee Hills, Florida. I'm with my guy Ryan Knopf here. He's for Lieutenant Dan. Tell the people, give them an update. What's going on? I know you got to move your boat over here. It's no longer
I'm no longer
locked up, so
I can't be tied up to the dock. Police came and told me I'm not allowed to be here, so I got to move out by Monday. The big boat, Jose Gasparillo, is coming back on Monday, so I got to be out of here by.
So that was that was one of the times where Lieutenant Dan was basically being told, obviously, and he never listened, and he eventually lost his boat from that. So we'll go to number 2.
we got the boat here and Lieutenant Dan here.
He made
How'd
it.
it go? How'd the night go?
It was a little rough till about 11:30. I repositioned the boat, and I was heading into the wind, and I slept like a baby from 12:30 to 5 o'clock this morning. I woke up twice to pee, that was it. But other than that, I mean, it's been a great night. I just smoked half a joint. I'm high, I'm watching all the people running around like crazy because of all the water. The water went up. It was up to here last night. It was over the fucking pole.
There's the boat, still standing.
I mean, I believe me, I got battered against the tire, but other than a couple of scuff marks on the side, my boat's in better shape now than it was before because it got washed.
So that's one of the hurricanes that he had actually made it through. Ironically, he didn't have no issues, no complications. His boat, in fact, from what he says, was better afterwards. The boat's gone now. No one really knows for sure if the boat's actually his. There's been a lot of misinformation with whether it's his, whether it's not. Don't really know. But, yeah.
Lieutenant Dan, what advice do you have to people who are trying to survive this hurricane?
I mean, if you're indoors, you're fine. I mean, the water level's going to come up. But if you're outside, you're homeless, go inland where it's fucking safer. Or go under a bridge. But even that, I don't know.
Why did you decide?
So, apparently, the wind doesn't want us to hear that one.
You guys want an update on Lieutenant Dan? Well, he is chilling right now. Straight chilling. Can't kill this guy's vibe. What are you doing there, man? All right, Lieutenant Dan, the people have been asking to set you up a GoFundMe.
So there's where the GoFundMe all started, 9/27. So, going, a month, a little over, see, 9, a little over 2 months, going on now. You know what I mean? So, almost 2 months, actually. I don't know why I said that. So, almost 2 months, over a month and a half, and now they're finally going to be able to do something about it, I believe.
Now me, I was scared, but Lieutenant Dan, he was mad.
Come on! You call this a storm? Oh, you son of a bitch! Oh! It's time for a showdown! You and me! I'm right here! Come and get me!
That's crazy.
All right, it's 9 o'clock. We got 3 hours until high tide, and we're checking in on Lieutenant Dan. His boat has risen a little. Dan! Lieutenant Dan! Are you in there? There he is! Dan! We need an interview!
What's crazy is everybody's saying over here like this is the last few minutes of his life and just on and on. It was a big thing. Everybody was invested in this. I was. When I seen these videos, I was just like, man, like I really hope he makes it. Obviously he did. But at the time, it was kind of, you really didn't know which way it was going to go. This hurricane was supposed to be, the biggest, strongest hurricane in, like, the last century or something. Like, Milton was supposed to be the real deal. Like, I know it was a really big hurricane, like, even still. But, I don't know. Like, he survived both of them. Helene and Milton. 2 hurricanes. 1 boat. And 1 Lieutenant Dan.
Hey! How we doing? Give the people an update.
So far, so good. We're staying on this side of the pole, but it's actually still low tide. If you can believe that.
He says it's still low tide when it's a 3 hours high tide, but his boat is on the concrete.
So yeah, you can see there's no fear in this man. Like, he's cool. And that's what it said. Like, you can totally tell there's like no fear in this man. Like, you can totally tell that everything's just cool right now. He's in good spirits, he's amped, he's hyped, all that. The only thing about it is you do notice, like I myself noticed, and many other noticed, that when he started getting with Check, like just everything in his whole demeanor and everything kind of changed. Like it's like he became a different person. And sometimes I wonder if it was because of the money, or if it was because of Check, or both. But now that they had a falling out like they did, and he's real butthurt about the whole thing, you know what I mean, he feels like he was let down in a way. And it's like, why would you feel let down? Because you went and found him, you know what I mean, at the end of the day.
Alright, we're live on the scene here. We got Diesel, Lieutenant Dan. He's anchoring down. This is what he got working with today. Is this gonna hold or what?
Yeah, it's gonna work.
It's gonna work, huh?
I just gotta keep my ass on this side of these poles.
Yup.
You know, because once I get on this side of the poles, then I'm in your world, and I want to stay in my world.
Yeah.
You can't do shit to me on it.
This will hold.
Said he wants to stay on that side of it because they can't do nothing to him on that side. So that just right there should just give been our red flags, which we didn't see it because we were so caught up in the story. That should have been our red flag to say, you know, hey, is this guy in trouble? So this should have been our red flag that Lieutenant Dan was probably hiding and running from something. He said that if he was on that side of the of the pole, that he's in his world, and that's where he wants to stay. That way they can't get to him. Nobody, myself included, didn't see the red flags. We just thought, you know, maybe he's just talking about the fact that he wants to stay in the water. I mean, I don't know. Who knows?
Let's go.
Alright.
We're moving the boat.
They moved the boat for the storm.
We're here with the real life Lieutenant Dan.
And this is the actual first video. This is the very first encounter. Tampa Terrence, Lieutenant Dan.
And big hurricane coming. What are you gonna say to the hurricane?
Fuck you. You want me? Come and get me.
Yeah.
Anybody. Wind, devil, cops, anybody. Bring it on. I'm ready for you all.
Let's go. He's not leaving, baby.
I'm staying right
Don't give up the ship. We're here with the real life.
So that's pretty much where it is. And there's a video somewhere that I am going to look up here in a second. I think I can find it. Where Lieutenant Dan is explaining that Tampa Terrence, this first encounter, that Terrence had actually had him script that and say, you know, hey, tell him, you know, F you, F this, or, you know, come get me or whatever. Like, the whole thing was like him seeing him and was like, hey, let's make some content, you know what I mean? And Terrence trying to say that it was Dan that wanted, you know, the content to be made, and that he was like, you know, hey, you know, you record me, you know. But, I mean, how would Lieutenant Dan really know that Terrence even makes content unless Terrence had mentioned, you know, something about his TikTok, something about his following, something about his content. You know, he had to have mentioned something. So I'm willing to bet that Dan's probably telling the truth, and that Terrence did say, you know, hey, you want to be in my content? Like, I can make a video, you know, yada yada. And he probably didn't. He may not have expected it to go anywhere. And in this exact moment, you know what I mean, there had been a whole day, if not more than one day, had passed before he had ever actually made a video and or seen Lieutenant Dan. So this is the part that kind of gets me crossed, I guess. Because in this moment, he's not giving him anything. He's not looking out for him. He's not, you know, hey, you're homeless, you know, hey, this and this, you know, clothes, food, nothing. He's not doing anything really for Dan besides making a video. You know what I mean? Or Joe. And then there's times that elapses with all of these comments, you know, that are stating, which is 1,053 comments of people saying they want to know, you know, what's going on with him. You know, he's going to make it. No, he's not. Never give up. Don't do it. You know, yada, yada, yada. And so that gave him the indication to make more content based off Lieutenant Dan. And then therefore, that's whenever it indicated, you know, hey, he is homeless. If I throw stuff his way, it's going to make me look even better. And then he went that route, you know what I mean? So if nobody can see it that way, then they could also not see it the way where he said that they couldn't get him on the opposite side of that pole. Meaning that the police wouldn't be able to arrest him on the other side of that pole. City cops, sheriff, whatever. So those are the red flags that we ignored. And then later down the road was like, oh, he's a piece of crap. He's a really, bad dude. But we didn't notice in the beginning he was basically telling us, hey, I just smoked a doobie, hurricane, made it, and I smoked a doobie, half of one, and now I'm sitting here watching everybody go crazy. So, like, Terrence didn't ignore the fact, or Terrence did ignore the fact that he literally is saying, hey, I'm literally under the influence, and he didn't care because he wanted content, and then none of us complained. But then after Terrence, when he, decided that Terrence was up to some, funny business, and and they split paths, that's whenever everyone's saying you're under the influence, you're a piece of crap, you're no good, yada yada yada. You're just a bum. You're gonna get arrested. Ha ha. You did get arrested. And so on and so forth. So that's where I get crossed with like, what's everybody really talking about, and like why did everybody kind of go in that direction, and did nobody notice this before? Like I obviously didn't. I didn't even notice that he said anything about being under the influence in that video until I watched it later down the road, and I didn't obviously notice anything about him not getting anything before that. And then I noticed that there was a video. I don't know if he has it on here or not. Let's see if we can find it. Where he's giving Lieutenant Dan stuff, basically. Yeah, right here. So if you see the first video, which we go down here, we'll find him. We'll find the very first video. Right there. So this is the first video. And this was on 9/25. So then this video is on 9/26. So the next day, they do an update on Lieutenant Dan. Nowhere in the video does he explain to anyone or anything that he gave Lieutenant Dan anything. So on 2 days, 2 separate occasions, 9/25 and 9/26, he did not give him any food, any clothes, any nothing. Didn't look out for him in any way.
Let's go.
Just moved the boat and amped up the whole Lieutenant Dan name, kind of trying to hype it up a little bit. And if you watch it, you can see it's just a simple 13-second clip of just moving the boat. And everybody, again, so sweet of y'all to help him, this and this. It's like, okay, well, he just moved the boat. It's not that big of a deal. It's not any different than somebody helping somebody move a couch. Like, hey, thanks for, putting this new couch in my house. Like, help me lift it. Neighbor, So nobody's making videos about my neighbor helping me lift my new couch in the house. So I digress. So then we get in there. So then we go to the next Lieutenant video, 9/26. Same day. And it says, will this hold?
Alright, we're live on the scene here. We got Diesel, Lieutenant Dan. He's anchoring down your world. And I want tires, but I don't believe that. I think it's fine.
So that's the video where he's expressing that I don't want to be on that side of the pole, yada yada. So this is when the day after he met him, he's already talking about how he doesn't want to be on this side of the pole because they're basically after him, which clearly would mean the authorities. And Terrence didn't care about any of that. He cared about the comments. So 2 different videos, same day, both got several comments. This one got 11,000 comments. 11,000 comments is just mind-boggling. So then where's the merch, And then makes a video, Lieutenant Dan update. And this is the 26th again, on 9/26, which I don't know if he just, I don't know how he could have done several days of updates and then it all be on 9/26. I don't know if he had met him before 9/26 and just uploaded them all on 9/26. I'm not really sure. But it's saying 9/26, and we'll just go with that. But in the video, he's just doing the stretching, obviously. And then here's this.
Alright, we got
also 9/26.
It's 8/16.
Rusty!
Alright,
So we went through several different videos, all ones we've already seen. And here's the life advice with the wind, and it's 9/27. So there's some kind of barrier. There's that one, there's this one. We've seen those updates. We've seen this update right here.
We got a 4 p.m. update right here.
Just wind blowing, that sort of thing. And then there's the one with the wind blowing and wind in his face, all that. So 9/27. So this is 9/27 again, which it would be impossible for it to be on the same day. So I'm just guessing that maybe it's just the way it was posted. But we obviously know the days, and it's the next day. Maybe 9/28. Don't know. I'm guessing it's probably 9:28. Either way, he's just asking him, how everything went. We already seen this. Explains that, he had obviously, became under the influence after the whole thing, and to celebrate the fact that he had survived, and Terrence didn't care about that, and then again, did not give him anything. Didn't give him any food, didn't give him any water, he didn't do anything at all. Like in a hurricane, in a situation like that, even just a 12 pack of like bottled water would have been really dope, for someone like Dan in that situation. It would have really helped. So then it took him all that time, and what does he do in order to help him? He sets up a GoFundMe. So by helping him, you set up a thing where other people can help him. Instead of you just throwing him a little bit of something to help him out, he's down on his luck clearly. He's already survived one hurricane, and he's about to survive another one. But this is in between the hurricanes, and you didn't give him anything. You didn't show any kind of love or nothing. And you definitely didn't do it on camera if you did. You didn't discuss that you'd done it. He didn't discuss that he was appreciative, because we all know that if there would have been something that you had given him and he was appreciative, you probably would have recorded that too. So moving on, there's another update where the diesel, they're fixing his line at 11 o'clock at night. So we move towards the damage.
Tifu's
OG
setup survived a Category 4 hurricane.
Survived the hurricane setup. I guess, I didn't mean to go on that one. But,
Here with
here's a Lieutenant Dan update.
Dan.
Said thanks to everybody that's helped support, but he also didn't get any of the money. So it's really not helping him.
Lieutenant Dan.
So then he tells him on 10/5. So there's a pretty decent sized gap between 9:27, 9:28 to 10/5. It's a pretty decent gap. Now keep that in mind. He hasn't done anything for him that he would normally do for someone that he had found that was homeless and in a boat and had to survive a hurricane because had nowhere else to go. There was no, hey, I can take you somewhere else. There was nothing. Nothing in any of the slightest. Shut up!
What's up?
So, people are, oohing and awing over Dan the whole time, keep in mind. So, it takes him
Stop.
It takes him from 9:26 to 10:06 to finally give him something, and it's some ragtag hand-me-down clothes. And the fact that this is like, think about this. Now, when you logically think of something that you're going to do for someone, you think it out. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to go out and do something for somebody that, is homeless or whatever, and you know the person, you've been making videos off of them, you've been clearly getting gifts, likes, views, whatever. It's obviously putting, followers in your account. It's doing a lot of justice for your account. It's doing justice for you. And whether or not Dan was going live at the time, I really don't know. I didn't have Dan as a follower until after, Check was involved. So, he has one leg. He's an amputee. Terrence gives him 2 shoes, okay? And he explains to him, I only have one leg, you know what I mean? And he's like, oh, well, just in case. It's like, the fact that he's just shrugging it off like, oh, well, like, and he actually thought there for a second, like, oh, yeah, you only have one leg. He don't even think about him in any regard in terms of, like, other than just grab anything and everything, throw it in a bag, I'm going to go make a video and give him some stuff. Now that I know for a fact that Lieutenant Dan has blown all the way up, like, this is when I'm going to take full advantage and start, like, looking out for him, GoFundMe, all this. So, I mean, it was all a plot and a ploy. It was all part of the plan for Terrence to, get to that point. And I get it, Team Terrence, and it's all good and fun. And, you know what I mean? And, I mean, I'm sure there's, part of it was just generosity. But also part of it was clout. And, I mean, at the end of the day, if that's how you have to do it, I guess, then do it how you do it, But nothing's going to get me to that status over doing a deep dive on anyone. So I definitely, if I was to see somebody homeless, I wouldn't make a whole docu-series about it and, like, eventually give them something that could help them out, which in the hurricane, like all of his clothes could have got soaked, like all that. You know what I mean? Lots of things could happen. I mean, there's water. He's in a boat. So the clothes probably would have been handy on day one. Let's just be real. Personally, just me personally, I'm not trying to, just say that I'm better than anyone. And I'm not trying to say that I would do something better. But if I was in that specific situation on day one, knowing that he's not leaving that boat, I would have went out and tried to get him something, whether it would have been some clothes from just, Walmart, grab a few things, whatever, or go and grab some things that I don't wear, clothes, boots, whatever, anything. But I would have known that he only had one leg, so I would have realized that I would have only had to bring one shoe. It would have been all things that would have been in my mind to know. I know him, and I know what he needs. You know what I mean? Because he's my guy, and I'm taking care of him. You know what I mean? Not just, man, I just need to go ahead and grab whatever I can, throw it in a bag, yada, 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 and I got to get over there quick, make this video. That's all this was. And you can tell in the demeanor and the whole thing. Just check it out.
What we got?
You want me a wetsuit?
I got you a LA King jersey because you're the king. Tampa.
There's nothing about LA King jersey that is really all that important at this point. We know what that was for. That was just a Tampa, cheap pop, you know what I mean, trying to get Tampa. Oh yeah, what up Tampa? Woo. That's all that was. You know what I mean? Another hint towards his page. He's all about Tampa. And then, you know what I mean, and some, little rich little what do you call that? Like a pun. You're the king, so LA Kings. Right.
Some Lululemon shirts. Get you dripped out for the gym. Arizona Sun Devils sweatshirt. Lululemon shorts. Here's what I got you. Some Metcons for the gym. Size 9.5.
And he totally just said for the gym. Now I understand that he does stretches and stuff, but being on a boat, surviving it through a hurricane and not going to a hotel room, that probably gave you a good indication that he don't go very far other than probably right there on the dock with those crutches. So he's probably not going to the gym, and you probably know this because he's probably told you. But it's all part of the video because I'm giving you stuff. And I'm giving you 2 shoes, but you're an amputee.
I only need the right.
I know. It felt weird just giving you one shoe. So
Why? I only got 1 foot. I know. What am I gonna do with the other one?
I'll figure that out.
You'll figure it out. Right.
And,
Grow another
left
leg.
shirt, obviously, go Bucks.
What?
Go Bucks. Tampa Bay. Got to keep the Tampa going.
Nice towels.
Tampa Terrence. All
More
part of the...
shirts.
You know what I mean? He's not just Tampa Terrence for no reason. You know what I mean? He's not from Tampa. He's not from Florida. He moved there to go to school there. You know what I mean? Because it didn't work out at the other school he was in. Don't really know why. And then now all of a sudden he's a content creator, which is fine. You know what I mean? Do what you do. But this all started, and Lieutenant Dan's life is in a huge mess right now with being discovered, then went to jail. Like everything that he planned for himself before he met Terrence probably had none of this involved. Yeah, I mean, people were saying he's famous, whatever, money. But at the end of the day, he's not getting really any money. I mean, he gets a little bit of money from the gifts in here and there, and that $7,000, which, I mean, we're in his position, he could have used the $7,000. I mean, I own my own house, you know what I mean, and I have my own vehicles, and I go to school, work, whatever, things like that. But he don't have anything other than that boat. So $7,000 is like I wouldn't trade that. Like I wouldn't trade $7,000 for all of what I have. I'm cool with what I have. I would rather have what I have than $7,000. You know what I mean? I'd rather have $5 in my bank account and have all of the property and the things that I own, opposed to $7,000. You know what I mean? Or money in my pocket. So I'm sure in his position, money and being able to just have his boat, he could use the money. Clothes, food, supplies, maybe a transportation, which he eventually got a scooter. So everybody jumping the gun saying that he was greedy. I wouldn't say he was greedy. I'd say he was just expecting what he was supposed to get because that's what he was told. And I mean, in any situation, especially if you're homeless, if you're expecting to get something, I don't know, it's like a whole $40,000 that was raised to give to you to help you get back on your feet. I mean, no pun intended, but to get back, to where you could actually like live a normal life. Wouldn't we want that for anybody? And if it would have went that way originally, and if Terrence really cared, let's just be honest. I know some things happened, some things were said, but if Terrence really cared like he said he did from the beginning, he would have made sure that Dan got the money. He would have done whatever it took. whether he had to get the money and it all be 40 grand in cash and hand it to him, hey, you got your money. If he did something crazy with it, that really wouldn't be his fault. You know what I mean? He did what he was supposed to do, and he made sure he got the money. Now, if anything, he could have got the 40,000 cash, took Dan to the bank or a bank, set up a bank account, and deposited that 40K right then and there, and had it all on him, and done it all right then and there in one day. In one day, he could have got the money, took Dan to the bank, opened up an account, got it deposited, give him his, bank book, checkbook, and all that, and tell him, look, you're gonna get, a bank card, and at 5 to 7 days, 7 to 14 days, whatever. And once that arrives, you'll be able to use it, ATM, all that. But for now, you'll have to write checks, or you have to come up here and pretty much sign out a deposit slip or a withdrawal slip, and that's pretty much how you gotta get your money. Just routine bank shit. You know what I mean? Not that simple. I mean, not that hard. Very simple. Very simple. Sorry. But anyways, I digress. So the video pretty much finishes off where he's just, giving him random clothes, and then, a little handshake, a little bing bang bop, boop boop boop. You know what I'm saying? A little bibbity boppity boop. You know what I mean? Wing wang woom. So then he does a little, reposition the boat. He, he will not leave. And then there's,
All right, Dan. The people that are new, explain jacket.
Hell no. I mean, don't do stupid.
It says that if you participate in this, it's like bad for you. It says participating in this activity could result in, others getting hurt. I'm guessing he's talking about, like, not leaving the boat. But then it's like, then there's these, like, random death row records. Don't really know. That's probably Dan's shirt. But when people ask Lieutenant Dan if he's leaving, he's not.
I'm not fucking.
And then right here, $1,000 donation to the GoFundMe. He's appreciative, you know what I mean? And he is. What's on Lieutenant Dan's boat? And then right here, he's wearing the jersey that he gave him. See, it's weird because he's wearing that jersey, right? Because he gave it to him. So, and that was 2 days prior to this video being uploaded. This is 10/7, that was 10/5. So imagine if he would have given me clothes on day 1. He would have been able to have more clothes to wear in case his clothes got all ruined in the storm. I don't know. Just kind of just makes you wonder, And then the rest of these videos are pretty much just, ploys at him. And then right here,
know your limit.
verify natural disaster info. This is him smoking, you know what I mean? Because he obviously smokes. And I'm not sure if it's a cigarette, to be honest. And so Lieutenant Dan has no limits, but Joe C does. So I don't know what that means. But they're explaining how the hurricane, this is Hurricane Milton, explaining how rough it's going to be. The chief of Tampa Police trying to get him to leave. He doesn't want to leave. And then at the end of the day,
All right, everyone. I just want to come on here and explain what's going on with Lieutenant Dan.
and that's a video where he's trying to let everybody know that he had chances to go to hotels and somewhere else and all that, but he just refused to do so. So, of course, the fact that he has to have a PSA and make sure that he did something like that and made sure that he would have somewhere to go just kind of shows you, like, that he was really kind of concerned, guilty conscience. Like, I don't want people to think that I wouldn't, take him to a hotel. Like, it's like, okay, then why isn't any of that ever in the videos, So, I mean, guilty conscience maybe? Not really sure. But then there was a video where he made it.
He survived. He's alive.
So, that's Dan surviving 2 hurricanes at this point.
All right, guys. I just want to get on here to address the Lieutenant Dan GoFundMe situation, as I received numerous death threats and thousands of hate messages and threats to my family, friends, and loved ones. So, just want to get...
And I really don't believe this. I really highly doubt that anybody is that invested to where they were threatening him, death threatening him and his family and friends and everybody over a GoFundMe account. I get it, it's 40K, but Dan wasn't really threatening anybody, and what could he really threaten you about that wouldn't have been something that would have been actually on video? Because he filmed literally every single thing he did, even stuff that was completely stupid. So I have a feeling that if there was some kind of threats or something like that, we would have definitely known. And yeah, I really think that it would have been something we would have known. And so I feel like this was kind of just a way for people like to pull on people's heartstrings, like, oh, I've gotten all these death threats and all these people, trying to hurt my family and all this. Like, of course, now we're gonna feel bad for you. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, and because I myself did at the time. But then I started to think about stuff, and I started to think about the situation, and then the check situation, and all that. And I was thinking, man, like, I really feel like, no offense at all, and I mean, it is what it is, but I was starting to feel like Tampa Terrence is fake. And I still kind of stand by that statement. And that was what this deep dive really kind of done for me. And it's done that a couple times when I watch videos. I just feel like it's a fake individual who only hung out with Dan for clout, just like Check is, just like that girl that came into his life and wanted to be his girlfriend, just like everybody that's came into Lieutenant Dan's life. He thought this dude was nobody. He thought he was just some random homeless guy on a boat, thought he was funny, made a video, it ended up going viral. He decided to make more videos about him, and then those videos started going viral. So then he decided to start helping him out because, I mean, why not? He's viral now, so I can help him out because I want to get more views. And then that continued to progress. GoFundMe, big amount of money, and then everybody started to talk crap, like, why isn't he getting his money? This is messed up. What's going on? Lieutenant Dan was upset, saying that he felt like Terrence trying to, Terrence bought a phone and then logged him out and like changed his password to his TikTok, so that Lieutenant Dan couldn't post any videos explaining what was going on. You know what I mean, between him and Terrence and the whole situation. And he never really actually did until later when he explained that it was all really just for clout. You know what I mean, as far as Terrence is concerned, he only did it to be in the beginning. It was only for views and for publicity, and it only ended up being that way at the beginning also. So he kind of just felt like he's not really any better than anybody else. But at least he got famous out of the situation. And even if it's just TikTok famous, it's still benefiting him. And at the end of the day, what can we really do? If Terrence is a fake person and isn't really looking out for him in the sense of really actually care about this homeless person, but instead was like, I'm gonna make a video, went viral, and it ended up working out because then now Terrence ended up somehow managing to pull on the heartstrings of all the fans and friends and people that were on the videos, took advantage of the fact that Joe was saying the things he was saying, and then Terrence was making videos like this. And see, here's the best thing. Here's the part that made me believe that the most, because when it all happened, he actually took away Dan's TikTok. So Dan couldn't make any videos when this video was created to defend himself and to tell anyone what was really going on. And by the time he had access back to his Facebook, or not his Facebook, but his TikTok, it was already pretty much over with. Everyone had already hated Dan so much that there was nothing he could really say or do that would make people believe him. So he just didn't care. And then he started to get grumpy about it and grouchy about it, and his demeanor was the same way. But then once, and then obviously nobody likes Check, so him being there, that didn't help. But then Check obviously started using him. I mean, Check was using him from the start also. But at least Check already had that reputation. Terrence is somebody that no one really knew until Lieutenant Dan. So no one really knows if he would have been that type of guy to do that. You know what I mean? But if he was the type of guy to help out homeless people, if you search through his videos, there's not a whole lot of videos where he's actually looking out for homeless people and stuff like that. He might be on a paddle boat swimming around because of a hurricane and just seeing what's up. But I mean, that's not any different than whenever a tornado hits in the United States, somewhere Midwest where I'm from, and Midwest. And when a tornado hits, we walk around afterwards, make sure that no houses fell on nobody's houses and stuff like that, and try to get them out if so. But I mean, I'm not sitting there with a camera in my hand doing it. I've helped many people get out of houses from, tornadoes that have, struck their house or their garage or their car. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I just think that he took advantage of a situation and it benefited him just like Check did. But we know, we know what Check's demeanor was about. He literally said in a video, I'm going down there to take photos and videos of the danger zone and all the stuff that happened in the hurricane, and I'm going to go hunt down Lieutenant Dan. And the only thing he did was hunt down Lieutenant Dan. He didn't take one single video of Florida. No hurricane damage, no rescues, no nothing. Just an interview with Lieutenant Dan, and then he was off from the races from there. So now that you have the context and you see that, where it started, where it finished, and where it's at, and now he's at 796,000 followers. When all this went about, Terrence only had like 200,000 followers. Keep that in mind. He has almost 400,000. No, not not 4. He has almost 600,000 more followers than what he did when he started doing the Lieutenant Dan videos. So why wouldn't he link back up with Lieutenant Dan now that Check's not in the picture? Because there's nobody, milking off of the clout. So now he could slide back in there and say, oh, I'm helping with the GoFundMe. So he's doing something for him. It's always got to be something he's doing for him. But now it's like, I'm doing it, but I don't want no part of it. It's like you're doing it. And then you're trying to tell everybody that you're getting hung up for the 7,000. That doesn't even make any sense. It makes no sense. You're just trying to get the 7,000 from Dan. Just be honest and be real and say that. Because if you weren't doing that, then, I mean, come on. I don't know. If he wasn't trying to get the 7,000 and he was just trying to do what's right for Dan, then he would say something to Adrian Ross and get the kick deal that he originally was supposed to get. Instead, he snaked it from Dan by taking advantage of the fact that everybody was thinking that Dan was actually a piece of crap when he really wasn't. He was just confused about all the stuff that was going on because everything was happening so fast, and he just wasn't able to get money that he really needed that was supposed to be for him in the first place. So, I mean, he acted out a little bit. I don't really blame him for acting out. I just wish that he wouldn't have done it the way he did it. You know what I mean? And he definitely should have told Check to take a step back and let him just take care of it between Terrence. Because the 7,000 was only to make him look good. In the meantime, while all that was happening, he wasn't really able to access his TikTok. He explained that in multiple videos. I have a video right now on my TikTok. If you go and look, it's stating literally that. It's a two-part video where he's explaining that he did not have access to his TikTok. And I'll link that in this also. So you'll be able to jump from here to there. The link will be in my bio on my TikTok, but you already know that. And I'm going to go ahead and put a link right up here. You can go to that video right there, and you can check out where he actually took there. And here's the crazy part. Terrence does not deny. Check out this video right here. This is him kind of just doing a backlash. You know what I mean? He's still butthurt.
All right. Just to let everybody know, I got a lawyer to handle my legal problems. So he's taking care of all my cases. He's representing me on everything. He's working on getting the boat out. He's going to let me know on
Right.
that. As far as my court date, that's in 2 days or in a day. I don't have to go. He waived my appearance. He's going to handle it. So everything's looking good. I can move on and whoa, I like that. Rolling Stones. I like that.
He's crazy. He's ate up.
Beatles. I like the Stones.
Poor Lieutenant Dan.
Def Leppard. Woo. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, no, you're fine. All right, let's go. We'll go shopping tomorrow when I got some money. I gotta figure out how to get to North Carolina. Feel like taking a trip?
Let's go.
No.
I'll drive you.
I don't feel like going right now. Gotta be in this aisle.
So as you can tell, their relationship is quite peaceful. You know what I mean? Joking, making, he's want to take a trip. He said, "Let's go." And then he see that smile. That was a genuine smile, Lieutenant Dan, right? Well, that was a genuine smile, Lieutenant Dan. You know what I mean? And so, what could have possibly went wrong? My theory is that they had a falling out of some sort. Maybe it's what everybody has been saying. Maybe Lieutenant Dan has been using, and maybe, something went wrong in that regard. Maybe there was a middleman. Who knows? Either way, it could have been a money thing. A lot of times people, couples, friends, family, they fight over money a lot. That is a big, big thing. So when there's money involved, aka the GoFundMe, and, the 7,000 and all this other, and if Check needed something, let's just say maybe Check asked, hey Dan, could you spot me a G? Could you spot me a couple stacks? I need to do this. I got an investment, I'm going to make. Buttered him up, got him out of jail, did the whole, bam boozle. And then now, you owe me one, right, Bow? You're my buddy. I mixed pal and buddy there, so you probably caught that. But, oh well. Anyways, that's probably what happened. Most likely. We don't know. No one knows. Only those two will know because they're both on the opposite end. They're both sour with each other. Clearly, like it says right here, not going to lie, Dan, you was doing way better when you were letting me help you. It really does hurt that you took everything for granted. Now, what exactly did he take for granted? You know what I mean? You came to him. You know what I mean? You literally lied on your TikTok, which if it's the video's still up, let's look. Let's take a little dive on old Check the Star here. So he's got a little breaking news. Yeah, he's definitely a colorful character. So let's see if there is the video. So this right here is when he first met him. And see, that was a video like that. See, so right down, it was down there, shuffled. You know how that goes. Well, let's see here. These might be, look at that, he's trying the Lieutenant Dan. Says, I'm thankful to people that gave me a chance to be myself for the past 2 years. I've kept a mask on, a wall up, not anymore. This is me. Ironically, that looks pretty conveniently similar to Lieutenant Dan's headstand that he's known to be doing and everything. And then over here, he's doing another video with another amputee, apparently, it looks like. If you know who this is, then you know why this is so epic. We both made an impact in each other's lives way before any of this. Interesting. So, is this going to result in Lieutenant Dan getting in one of those contraptions? Or is this another amputee that he's taking advantage of? I'd like to think that it's probably a little bit of both. So let's go down here and see if they ironically have, if he has this video of him going, you know, to Lieutenant Dan. Let's see here. It would be down here, way down here, where he first said it. Is this it? No, it's Free Joe. So yeah, there's a lot of content to get through here. But see, look, there's another little, you know, Lieutenant Dan gymnastics that he does. And then there it is. There's the headstand. Ironic. Weird. And he has it on his page. And then Aiden Ross confirms the deal is still going. Like, what business is it really of Checks to make even that video? I know I'm not really one to talk, but, I mean, let's face it. I'm not going down to Florida and harassing an amputee, putting myself in the way. So, let's see. This is got to be it right here.
And man, I need everybody right now to follow my backup. I'm headed to Tampa right now. We're going to cover all the footage right now of all the disaster that happened in Tampa. And we're going to find Lieutenant Dan too. We're on a hunt for him too. Everybody stay tuned, man. Follow my backup so we can go live and show you everything that's going on. And man, I need...
Shout out to the comment section on this. If you go and watch this video, which you can clearly see, it's just simply Check the Star. There's a lot of people calling him out on all of this. One of them says, notice that he said hunt and not check on. Now the biggest part of this video right here, this is where it all began, you know what I mean, the beef between these two. We take a deep dive in every aspect. This would be the main aspect of what's happened recently. In this point, we have Check the Star, and he states that he's going to go check the, what is it, wreckage, or the damage, or...
Everybody right to find Lieutenant Dan too. We're on a hunt for him. Footage right now of all the disaster that happened.
So we're going to get footage of all the disaster that happened. So, speaking of, this was the video right here. Now if we move forward, we see him meeting Lieutenant Dan.
You did good today. Really
Y'all
good.
ready for my interview with Lieutenant Dan?
See it. You might think it was just another day.
Interesting. So, at that point, he pretty much pushes content with Lieutenant Dan. There, thus far, it just goes on and on and on, trying to clear his name with the whole, you know, other person, whole scenario. The fans, he's a humble guy, you know what I mean, you know, blah, 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 blah. Someone saying blink twice if you've been kidnapped.
Oh, ain't no blinking going on.
Yeah, right. So, right. So there's your, you know, wreckage and damage zone. You know what I mean? All the damage that went down. Let's see. Where is it at? So where's that video of all that damage? Where's all that damage at? I'm looking for the damage. Let's see. I know there's got to be some damage somewhere around here. Like, I could have swore I seen him, like, helping a homeless. Oh, there's that homeless. Wait, no. Not that homeless. I could have swore there was a video of him helping somebody that tree fell in their car. Let's see. Well, not seeing it. We're probably... Oh. Huh. Interesting. There isn't any videos that pertain to Check the Star helping anybody in any fashion besides going on a hunt for Lieutenant Dan. So, peep this. You are involved with the clout chase. You know what I mean? You are in it, period. And you know what I mean? He's getting fed up here.
Alright, guys, so this is hilarious.
Check is, or Miguel Garcia Santiago, because that's his actual name. That man ruined my childhood best friend's life. Got her pregnant, got her really bad onto hard drugs.
Alright, now mind you, this best friend she's talking about is my baby mama. That's literally been in my life for over 10 years. This girl is just obsessed because she couldn't play a life role in her life, and she done kicked her to the curb 8 years ago. The fact that you're still talking about your sick obsession with someone that didn't want to be GAY with you, let it go. Move on. Go get...
Sorry. This video is really irrelevant, but it is relevant, but it's not, because the person that actually made that video that he was showing was talking about how his true colors really are. And I mean, we all know what Check's true colors are. You know, they're not the greatest colors. But someone's comment kind of made me laugh. Someone said, kind of like your sick obsession with Joe. Now, we all know that he has an obsession, you know, with Joe. And this is how it started.
All right, man.
Lieutenant Dan always loved the attention.
You're sitting here by your boat, you're just chilling, having a good old day.
You know what? I'm gonna be real with you, and I'll be 100% honest with you. I love the attention. You know, I mean, who doesn't love attention? Who doesn't love to feel that? Who doesn't want to feel wanted? You know, and I mean, I haven't felt wanted my entire life.
So his interview is really kind of garbage. You can't hear anything besides motorcycles. But over here, the comment, let's shout out to Judith323 from Connecticut. She says, Check is that one ex that you got to put a restraining order on them just to get the point across. and that's, you know what I mean? And then someone has said, bro, enough. We get it, bro. So cool. Happy for your success. This just makes me sad, and yada yada yada. And that's the point we're all trying to get. You know what I mean? Check's obsession with Lieutenant Dan has become like so surreal, like it's insane. And he posted this video, ironically.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paper boy, evening TV. Did I get delivered here? Somebody tell me, please. So world confusing me. Clouds as mean as you ever seen.
Now, this video right here just got recently posted on 10/27, and I had some thoughts about it. Like, I honestly wanted to put this in with the Lieutenant Dan deep dive, because it may not be Lieutenant Dan specifically, but let's think about this for a second. The Island Boys were actually reaching out to Dan and telling him, like, we'll take care of you, we'll take care of you, we'll take care of you, and saying that he was such a bad guy. Keep in mind, they were all clicked up at one point in time. Now, ironically, they're all back together hanging out, right? Well, I feel like it was a ploy all along, just to get more clout, you know what I mean, more people in their direction, ultimately to, you know, to cause fake drama, you know what I mean, because a part of me wants to think that this was all just one, you know, rib at, you know, the whole thing was kind of scripted. But then I know Lieutenant Dan just seems too authentic, and, you know, authentically stupid sometimes, really, for it to be like, I mean, if it's scripted, they did one amazing job. I will say that. Bravo. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Bravo, for real. But that video popped up, and I just thought y'all might want to see that. That's kind of weird. If y'all don't know the Island Boys, which I'm sure some of my YouTube subscribers, you definitely know, because I know you guys hinted in on that. So I'll just let you know that. Pretty crazy. But let's go ahead and get into the next part of this. So it's breaking news I've ever seen. So let's go with the breaking news. Was the newest one. Let's see.
Alright, breaking news, guys. This comes with a heavy heart to say, man, because I didn't expect this coming.
This is gonna take a while.
I was scrolling on TikTok today, and I found out some crazy stuff, and I really didn't see this coming, man. I mean, everybody's been coming to light lately. I mean, I don't even know what to say right now. But guys, I found out on TikTok, Man, it's like you find things out all the time. Like I thought it would take a DNA test, but comes to find out, bro, Joe's really my grandfather. Like I just found this out. Y'all call him Lieutenant Dan. Some people may call him J. Josie. That's Grandpops. I call him Grandpops. User 10379 told me just today that was my Grandpops. I had no idea, guys. I was just scrolling and I see this. Oh my
Man.
gosh, breaking news.
That's insane, honestly. Like he put that up because it got 451,000 views. And let's just put it that way, because I mean, he put a breaking news, and everybody just realized like those views weren't. I know they got him, you know what I mean, in the spotlight, but at the end of the day, those views weren't really specifically like pointed towards like, man, we really want to know what his breaking news is. They knew that it had something to do with some kind of like slick, you know, remark or something so dumb that had something to do with Lieutenant Dan and something to do with Lieutenant Dan and like, let's just be honest, you know what I mean? He is just a stalker. And it's, you know what I mean? He's a stalker to the greatest degree. Like, he's like top tier, scary, stalking, like weird motherfucker. Straight up. Period. He's a weird, weird guy. And I don't really know like why he has to do this, like, and has to keep going and going and going, like with the whole Lieutenant Dan stuff. But like a lot of his videos are kind of out of order for me right now for some reason. So I'm trying to find like the most recent ones. Lieutenant setting up the new scooter. He got him that scooter. Ooh, he got him that scooter. Right, right. Well, if you move up here, so I'll start. This was a friend.
Yo, ain't nothing better
Was
than
a
being out
friend.
here chilling.
Was a friend when it was convenient. Shaking my head, bro. Going through the phases of grieving, bro. If Disco Club replied to me, leave it alone, bro. Bro can't let it go. A friend for a solid 2 weeks.
Yeah, fuck that place. Fuck that place. Yo, ain't nothing better than being out here.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Place. Yo, ain't no.
He's got mental problems. You know what I mean? Like straight up mental problems. But that's okay. You know what I mean? Like we can. You know what I mean? We can work through that. You know what I mean? You can do it. But anyways.
Thank you so much, guys.
Right here, on to the next episode. This was 6 days ago. So, I mean, if you don't think that it's all just a, you know what I mean, Joe going from grandpa to father-in-law, it's crazy. Now, what we'll do is, today, let's find out what you really think when we find out where the deep dive. Yeah, here we go. So, I know where I was with Lieutenant Dan, so.
Hey Dan, you're speeding again.
The cops, when you see Tupac, they got me go, it's all good, they get me to the man, hit him up.
Man.
Hi, Christy. Yeah, I posted that other video back from 2019. That's when this one was made, back in Fort Lauderdale. That was a great way to get around. It was cheap, it was fun.
Crazy.
Hey, TikTok. I'm back down in Tampa.
So so on October 25th, he made it to Tampa, Florida, and I think that might have been when he started getting harassed. I'm not sure. Let's see.
No, I'm sorry to say that we are not.
They're still friends. This is part of their game. That's what they're saying. He's saying about Check the Star and him.
Friends, and you will not be seeing me and Check together again. Okay. Thanks for your reply. Have a great day. See ya.
So, I guess they're not friends.
It's irrelevant whether I had an idea or not. Since when it was created, I didn't know anything about it. Nobody told me until after it was created and had money in it. So, ID wouldn't have helped either way. Thank you.
So this is the most recent update. Someone said, you keep saying Tampa Terrence should have put the GoFundMe under you from the beginning, but you need an ID to do that. And And like he's saying, man up and get it. You know what I mean? Get an ID, all that. Which I really don't understand why he hasn't got an ID. But either way, right here is a good example of the most recent update that he tried to say. Um, it's like the perfect example of just a criminal behavior. You know what I mean? Still trying to do the same thing and expecting everybody to kind of do it for you. Sometimes I wonder why he still kind of acts like that whenever he's got all these people kind of behind him. I'll never really understand that. If you know, what I mean, if I was in his position, I would have took advantage of all of the greatness that everybody, all everybody looking out for him, and just the deals he was getting and the publicity and where he was and where he could have been. It's crazy. Like he had so many things that would have been lined up that just didn't go through because of all of this drama. And then Check the Star definitely didn't help. That just kind of made it just happen faster. But yeah, and the most recent update is he keeps mentioning Tim Terrence and him are getting back together with the whole GoFundMe thing, saying that no one actually did get refunds. Everyone's trying to say they got their money back, but apparently they didn't, because Tim Terrence is saying that he has, the option still to get all this money, and that there was no refunds being done, and it never had done, but he would be tied up with the $7,000 that he gave Lieutenant Dan originally, and that he would be tied up with the taxes on it, and he can't just pay all that. So he's saying that he just wants to get Lieutenant the money and then let him, take care of it from there. Like, whatever you do with the money, that's on you. But he wants all of it to be paid pretty much through Lieutenant Dan. The $7,000, the taxes, all that be paid through him and not him, because he don't want nothing to do with it no more. And I think that's kind of where he was at with it. And honestly, like a part of me wants to think that he would actually just, worry about giving everything back. But now, after a lot of things have conspired, I don't think anybody would really worry that much. Leave a comment down below if you may have been one of those people that actually donated. And if so, are you worried about your refund? Did you get your refund? I don't know. I would actually like to see some comments about others. Maybe they did get the refund, and maybe he's just making it all up. And then he made
What I need you to do is I need you to find a reason to keep going. If you can find a reason to keep going,
don't care about that.
Hey guys, how you doing? Jay here, over at Dallas Parker in Tampa. I met this guy here, Motown Mike. He's telling me this story, and you guys hear this story. Hey TikTok. Well, as you know,
So, not seeing any actual I really appreciate everybody. You know what I mean? You've all pulled together and pulled through and have, done everything you can for me thus far. I would really appreciate it if you shared it and, follow, keep following and keep, hanging in there. We're going to just keep making videos. I mean, I'm not trying to be like most creators, so if you have friends, family, all that you think that would like this content or any of my other content or stuff that I can make in the future, let them know. Share the videos, share, like, comment, subscribe, all that. Terrence does not deny that the access wasn't taken from him. That's what's crazy. And he tells him, you can log on now. If you go in there, you can log on now. So make it make sense. It doesn't make sense for me, and I don't know. That's just my opinion. But that was my deep dive on Lieutenant Dan. I hope you enjoyed it. There's probably not going to be a whole lot more Lieutenant Dan content from this point on. If there is, it's going to be just maybe a small little tidbit of something that might be going on. If something crazy happens that I just feel like everybody needs to know or something like that, then yeah, I always kind of stay in the loop. But we're probably going to move on from this project. And what I like to do at this point is I want to move on from this project and find something different. So I know that on YouTube I don't have a real large amount of subscribers right now because it's new, it's different, and it's trying to build that audience. So I would like for my YouTube subscribers, and this is specifically for my YouTube subscribers, I would like for you guys to put a link down there. Hold on. So this is specifically for my YouTube subscribers. I would like for you to put a comment down there and let me know. Maybe there's something else you might want to do. Want me to do a deep dive on. I was also going to ask, what do you think about my trolling videos? Do you think they're funny? Should I do more trolling videos? kind of just what direction should we go with this. I'm trying to build an audience. I really actually appreciate all 15 of you. I appreciate you. There's not a whole lot, but we're working on it. We're going to build this audience. We're going to build it quick. And I'm going to do a lot more in real life stuff too. I was thinking like maybe some prank videos. I don't know. I don't know what direction specifically to go. I'm kind of everywhere right now, as you can tell. The Lieutenant Dan stuff really has me like locked in. And I know that you guys really like the stuff. So if you want me to keep making Lieutenant Dan videos, I will. There is a few updates and a few things I actually kind of want to upload as like shorts and stuff like that. Maybe kind of compile them together and make like one video. Obviously, I'll have to be in them in any way, in any fashion. I would like to be in them. But anyways, it's very important that I get you guys' opinion on the whole thing, on this, where we go from here with the content. I kind of want your guys's, I want you, guys, girls, all of you. I want everyone as a whole. I want everyone involved. I want everyone to kind of, voice their opinions. I know that you guys, I know that everyone has, done, wonders for me. I appreciate everybody. I know that everyone has kind of looked out, comments, likes, stuff like that, and I really appreciate it. You understand that there is a lot of content creators out there that, once they get monetized, they kind of get lazy. And not just that, but they kind of do it anyways. Like, they get to a point where they start posting, like, maybe one video a month, maybe, maybe 2 videos a month. I plan on posting videos every single day. You know what I mean? As long as I know what direction I'm going and what kind of videos and content that my audience likes. You know what I mean? Like, once I get a video from, out there in real life and do some stuff, maybe pranks, whatever, it don't matter. Just in general, you know what I mean? I have a lot of stuff that I do and that I can do out there in real life and post some videos. I have Dalmatians that are pretty cool. Obviously, you've seen that from the other videos. But, you know what I mean? I'll post videos constant. You know what I mean? And I plan on I was going to make another channel for, the pranks, but, I mean, I can do them on here too. So it don't really matter. Just as long as my audience is backing me, I'll do whatever.